Hey, this is Nolan from 4Player Network, and these are some of our favorite games from E3 2017. After Beyond Two Souls fell flat, in my opinion, I was looking forward to the next Quantic Dream David Cage game to impress me. Detroit was announced last E3, and I left the Sony press conference with a resounding, "It looks okay." This year, Brad and I watched a theater demo of the game with two of the game's characters, Marcus and North, both androids, trying to rescue some other androids when the presenter let the audience decide what actions they would take, leading us all to chanting, "Violence! Violence!" which I think is a pretty good sign. But it wasn't until I got my hands on the game that it started to sink in. I played the demo we saw at last year's E3 with Connor, the hostage negotiator, trying to save a child from a rogue android. And I instantly fell in love with the detective mode, trying to, find clues in the environment to piece together the scene that had happened before I arrived, and every time I found a new clue, it would increase my probability of success by a small factor, which led me to 85%. I had an 85% probability of success before I approached the captor, and I had a dialogue with him which resulted in my probability going up and down based on the choices I had made. In the end, Connor died, but I was able to save the girl. Immediately I wanted to replay that demo just to see if I had made a different choice. Could Connor have lived? Could no one have lived? I just really wanted to know. Detroit Become Human is a beautiful looking game with a great premise, and I just really hope they don't bring back any of the child actors from Heavy Rain.
Super Mario 64. It's a truly great game. For a very long time, I've always considered Super Mario World to be the pinnacle of Mario games. It has been my favorite. It is the one I played when I was younger more than any other. But I think if any other Mario game I've played is really, really close to edging out Super Mario World, it'd be Mario 64. And I played some Mario Odyssey at E3 this year, and holy shit, they're finally making a proper follow-up to Mario 64. I guess Sunshine kind of is, but fuck Sunshine. That game's just rude. It's rude. It does mean things, and it makes me angry. But you know what didn't make me angry? This wonderful, wonderful demo. It's such a delight. It's a fucking delight. I can't help but say how delightful it is when I play a damn good Mario game, and this one seems like a damn good Mario game because you go into these big worlds and you just explore. You find out how to get the moons, which are, I guess, like the stars in this game. And there's so many fun, weird, cool, different ways. It's not just balls hard challenges that repeatedly kick you in the fucking nuts like Sunshine did. And it's just a goddamn joy. The amount of variety and fun, and I had so much smiles on my face when I played this goddamn game. It seems like that kind of glorious Mario is back. And I do love the Galaxy games like a lot of other people. And I even like that Super Mario 3D World, but there's something very open-ended adventure gamey, like exploratory about this type of Mario game. The stuff that made Mario 64 really great. And I'm glad to see it's back here. I really think that this could be the best goddamn game of the year. This is such a crazy year for video games. And Nintendo put out a dope-ass Zelda game. But this is the one that I think might steal all of our hearts at the end of the damn year. I truly, truly believe that. Actually, fuck that. This isn't even a Mario game. The more I think about it, when I was playing this game, this didn't feel like Mario 64. This felt like a dope-ass successor to Banjo-Kazooie. That's right. Banjo-Kazooie. And I like Banjo-Kazooie, so I think I'm okay with that. Because it didn't feel like you were getting stars. It felt like you were getting jiggies. It felt like you were getting jiggies because you didn't leave the world and because you were doing weird, really weird shit. I saw Nolan, jump rope like, by two weirdly different looking humans. What is with the humans in this game? They don't seem like Mario type humans. It's strange. But anyways, he jumped rope a bunch and he got some jiggies, and then he got dressed and performed a song and he got jiggies or moons. But isn't that the Banjo-Kazooie formula? Did Nintendo secretly make another Banjo-Kazooie game and just call it Mario? I don't know. It really does seem like that. But like, I don't care because it's sick. I mean, even throwing the hat is like doing transformations. Huh. Well, I'm excited about Mario Odyssey Kazooie coming out this fall because, you know what? Ukulele was only okay. I think Mario's take on it's going to be even better. Even better than Banjo-Kazooie, I bet. God damn, this game's going to be good.
So get this. There's a new Monster Hunter game coming to the West. That's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that it's not a handheld title. Well, that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that it's a PS4 exclusive. Oh my goodness. This is something that I've wanted for so long that I forgot I wanted it, because I thought for sure it would never, ever happen. Monster Hunter returning to a Sony home console system for the first time since the PS2. I mean, really, who could have predicted that? It's just kind of crazy. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Oh, hey, by the way, Monster Hunter World. And it looks crazy. It looks wonderful. We've revamped it. We've modernized it. We've kind of streamlined, maybe is a sinful word with Monster Hunter diehards, but yeah, kind of streamlined it a little bit, made it a little less obtuse, a little more inviting to newcomers, which honestly is something that series desperately needs, especially in the West. Oh my god. Look, I know this game is going to be a point of contention for the diehard Monster Hunter community, but, you know, I don't really know anything about that. I can't really comment on it. All I know is that what I saw of this game at E3 kind of blew me away. It looked really fucking cool. Now, granted, that was in a controlled stage demo environment, so it's really kind of hard to tell exactly what this thing's going to look like when it's out in the wild. But if it resembles anything that I saw, I'm going to be all over this game day one. The exciting thing about this game coming back to a home console instead of a handheld is that now it has PS4 power to render these large, beautiful, lush environments that are much more open and expansive and all completely seamless. No more loading screens when journeying between different areas during a hunt. You get to stay in it the whole time. That's fucking cool, you know? And it allows for this more kind of immersive, emerging narrative experience when you're fighting these giant monsters, because these fights aren't like 1, 2, 3 minute encounters and then it's over. I mean, these things kind of drag on. They move around. You have to track the thing down and fight it for a while, and then maybe it gets away and you have to retrack it down and then fight it some more. Maybe you lose it altogether. But hey, you know, that's life. I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I don't really know what I'm getting into. I've only probably played about a dozen combined hours on a few of the more recent Nintendo-based Monster Hunters. But if this is just an improvement, upgrade of that experience, which I guess still remains to be seen, but if it's anything like that, I think I will be very, very much into this game.
Okay, so I had a lot of expectations going into E3 about VR, especially after playing Resident Evil 7 earlier this year and having that completely change the way I think about playing games. And there was a lot of VR at E3, don't get me wrong, but there wasn't a whole lot of VR I was particularly interested in. And then I found Moss, this charming little adventure platforming puzzle game from Playtonic that you may have noticed during the Sony press conference. And here's the thing about Moss. You actually kind of play two characters simultaneously. You control the mouse, named Quill, using the controller, and you move around, you platform, you attack things, the way you would control any other character in any other character action game. But you see the world through the eyes of this weird, ghostly character that has some kind of weird connection or bond with Quill. And since this is a VR game, seeing the eyes through this creature, you're looking around the environment, you're just turning your head, you're examining the environment, all while controlling the character in that environment, which is just kind of a weird, unique feeling that I haven't had before. And to be honest, going into E3, I've actually played a fair amount of VR stuff up to this point, but everything I've played so far has been purely first person. And I was super skeptical of the idea of the concept of third-person VR. I didn't get it. What's the point? But within 30 seconds of playing Moss, that all changed for me. It reassured me that VR is much more than just a cool way to play a first-person game, and it actually has a lot more to offer to the medium as a whole. Right out of the gate, though, Moss seems like a really polished and beautiful game to play in VR. It seems sharp enough and detailed enough to consider it another minor step forward for the technology. I love the way Quill animates and the way it feels to control him while still using your head as the camera. It all feels way more intuitive and fresh than I ever would have expected. The demo I played gave me a taste of the platforming, some minor combat encounters, which all felt good, but the highlight of the demo for me was actually using the hand motions and the VR headset simultaneously to manipulate the world. It almost felt like the headset was kind of an extension of the controller, which is cool. So for instance, in one room I had to guide Quill from one side to the other, but I had to go through this large complex cylinder that was layered and it was full of passageways and doors that you could spin to line up. You could even possess enemies in the environment and lead them through these passageways onto pressure plates that would open doors that will allow you to then move Quill towards the exit. All in all, it felt very natural, and the presentation was gorgeous. It may not be revolutionizing the way puzzle platformers are designed necessarily, but the implementation of the VR technology seemed top-notch. It also ended with a really cool-looking sequence that featured Quill coming face-to-face with this giant venomous snake in this really dimly lit room, which it's kind of hard to explain, but they do some really cool stuff with lighting and perspective that just make that part of the game pop. So overall, color me intrigued. I'll definitely be making time for this one when it drops later this year. If you have a PSVR, I suggest you do the same.
It's been a really long 4 years since 4A Games released Metro Last Light, and I had honestly become worried in the past year that we would not see another Metro game from them. Between their VR title they announced last year, and the studio's shakeup following the outbreak of the Ukrainian Civil War, I had no idea what was going to happen to them. Last December, though, a Deep Silver website for the series hinted at a new title being on the way, and quite soon thereafter, the game's dormant Twitter account came to life once again. Watching it open the Microsoft press conference was a joy to behold, but it hurt to see that it was nowhere else at E3. In that brief trailer, we got a ton of information that left me exceptionally excited. Whereas I had dreamt previously of an open-world Metro game set throughout the tunnels of the Moscow underground, what we have instead is a transcontinental road trip through the remains of Russia over the course of a year, starring series protagonist Artyom, as well as the remaining Spartan soldiers from Metro Last Light, alongside a few survivors that are crossing the country over the course of a year looking for a new home. Over the course of the story, we've been told that we'll explore large open segmented worlds, gathering supplies at each stop, and trying to keep the train rolling along the tracks. It sounds so damn cool. There's a lot to glean from the trailer at the moment, but few definitive details have been shared thus far. After 4 years though, I can't wait to dive back into Artyom's boots and explore the world beyond Moscow. Will it be my #1 game of 2018 like Last Light was 4 years ago? I don't know, honestly, but I look forward to finding out.